Why not, man? I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, I mean, I've done dumber stuff. Yeah, man. Give me a second. Let me see if it shows that we're live. It's showing something. It's showing that little screen over there. Just have to twist that a little bit, and I'll be good to go. Cool. All right. Looks like it's doing something. There we go. Cool. Well, hi. Hey, Rick, appreciate it. Yeah. Cool. Well, Mike, no Mike. Mike, cool. Okay. Hi, everybody. Woo! That's how you have to start. You got to start with a good Ric Flair woo. That's my favorite way to start any type of presentation. The second thing I do is I turn around gracefully and make sure that my fly is up. So I always start with those two things. So if you ever see me on a presentation, you can never be too sure. I like to start with a woo because it just gets everybody's attention. It doesn't matter if you're in a coffee shop or you're at a trade show or convention or whatever. What the theme for tonight was identifying a value proposition and how to go to market with it. So luckily we've got Mo here. So if you need anything about marketing, he's the guy that I go to when I have questions, which is fantastic. Also a proud member of the RGB Dads nonprofit. Welcome to the crew. Congratulations. What I'm going to do is we're going to start by describing what a value proposition is. We're going to explain those elements. I'm going to give an example. We're going to talk about marketing, $, profit, right? Old school meme, never gets old. A value proposition. A value proposition, you say, it's like a plethora, right? I want to explain to you that whatever you're doing at whatever stage you're at in your startup, it doesn't have to be difficult. You don't have to be a chemistry genius and know about butterfly trees and wing things and stuff and all that. This is a company that I started in McAllen with a business partner of mine, $500 each. The whole goal was to buy each other Teslas. And so I just turned in my second Model S Plaid. I got rid of it, and I'm not getting a new one for a while, so I'm done with my Tesla phase. But this is what we did, and you don't have to overthink something. Simple sometimes is the best solution, right? So this is called Wi-Fi Stand. You can find us at wifistand.com. And what we did is I got to go through a whole bunch of experiments understanding how to build a very successful business with the most simple product that I've ever worked on. I've worked on some very complex products. I've worked on some incredible projects, and we've sold companies for a whole bunch of money. But this one was challenging because of the simplicity. So you can pass it around if you want. It's fun. It's PVC and aluminum. There's nothing much to it. But the value proposition behind it was the key. I work in the Wi-Fi industry. I come from the Wi-Fi space. And I had to answer these questions when I was first getting started. What's my product? Who's my customer? What does it solve? These are like the 4 pillars of a value proposition. What are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to do? So before we had the Wi-Fi Stand product that was out there, this is a slide from my pitch deck. Our first win was a $10,000 win that we got in City of McAllen. And these are solutions that are currently in play and things that existed before our product. So you can see that there's some gaffer's tape connected to the back of that one. This one's got some zip ties on a photography stand. This one's got a whole bunch of zip ties connected to like a conduit or something. This is really what people would do to deploy temporary Wi-Fi at trade shows and events and concerts and everything else. Because when you need Wi-Fi, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, where are you supposed to put it, right? And so like the NFL, big customer, NCAA, big customer, PGA, all these customers that are outdoors, they're trying to do things outdoors, are big customers because they want temporary Wi-Fi deployed, but they're not cleaner, a little bit nicer. And so what we had is first we had to be able to answer these questions, right? What is our product? Who's our customer? What does it solve? Well, our product is a Wi-Fi stand. Our customer is people who deploy temporary Wi-Fi. What does it solve? Simplicity. It solves aesthetics. It solves the placement of temporary Wi-Fi. And how does it do it? It's a simple, easy to deploy, universally accepted bracket. That little line that you see on top, that little silver part, that mimics a 15th, 16th drop ceiling rail. Like you guys have all seen drop ceilings, right? Well, why do we do that? Because every piece of Wi-Fi equipment shipped in the world comes with an adapter kit for a Wi-Fi rail. Awesome. So we just made it and we put it in like a little license plate holder looking thing. So we've been in business since 2016. It's been a fairly successful venture for us, and we're having a lot of fun. We've got some new products that are coming out. But I'm using that as an example to show you that your value proposition has to convey some very basic information. You have to know who you're talking to. You have to know where their pain points are. You have to know how to give them something that's going to solve those pain points. So I love, love, love. One of my favorite things I ever got to do is a fishbone diagram. And if you've never done this, this is something, no matter what you're working on, no matter what your project is, fishbone that thing out. This is so much fun. What you do is you identify key areas. This was like a sales and business one, where we said, okay, who are the key markets that we're going after? Here we've got events, sports, healthcare, conferences. We went after all these different ones, and then we fishboned that out. So for events, we've got concerts and festivals. Sports, we've got football, basketball. Healthcare, COVID. COVID was insanely good for us from a business perspective. Can you guess why? You remember when you would go get COVID tests out in the middle of parking lots, and they needed Wi-Fi in the parking lots? How are you supposed to put Wi-Fi in a parking lot? So COVID was fantastic coming. But healthcare, and then you talk about the entire industry, the Wi-Fi industry, through people that are doing site surveys and validation. So I brought this up because I wanted you to see, if you've never done a fishbone, it's going to be fantastic. So there's this thing that always went around with an older generation, right? And whenever you applied for a sales job, the way that you could get your criteria very quickly was, sell me this pen, right? So I want you to think in your head about a value proposition for this pen. It's a nice pen, but how would you sell that to somebody? What's your value proposition for a pen? Limited edition, okay, it's a Mont Blanc, it's a nice pen. It's got a very unique style ink that's in there. So what do you do? What do you do with this pen? How would you sell me this pen? Because the value proposition is what's going to get you your business. On top of that, you need marketing, you need to be able to deliver your product, you have to have production runs, you have to have all this stuff to get the pen. But at the end of the day, it's that value proposition that's going to sell that pen. I think that's why it's super important to harp on that. I don't know, how am I doing on time? What am I? 10 minutes. Okay, good. This is fun. So for this pen, specifically, you have to think, who's your customer base, right? What are you trying to sell them? How are you trying to sell this pen to them? What is it that they need in their life that this is going to solve the problem for, right? So think about how you'd solve that pen. Demand generation is something that you can do that's very easy. If you can figure out a trigger point to drive demand, before you get to marketing, if you can find a group of people that absolutely need what you're selling, it's incredible. Bikes, right next to all the biking trails and parks and stuff. Coffee, when they're done with their bikes, or before they go out on their bike ride, or where the tourists and everybody are driving back for fantastic coffee, by the way. I hope you sell beans. Good, I'm taking some home. Demand generation, if you can figure out how to drive demand, you've already solved a lot of the product. Then it's just a matter of, can I put this in the hands of people that need it? When we brought our product out, the demand was there. Desalinization? Oh my God, yeah, of course. Lots of demand for that. Getting rid of, being able to convert wastewater, that's awesome. Huge demand for that. I talked to a guy last night. This is gonna sound kind of morbid. And I am streaming, so this is fun. Hey, what's up? What's up? He opened up a euthanasia practice for pets in Houston because there's a chemical that can very quickly break down and decompose a body of somebody's loved pet. The demand for pets to be cremated is insane. Every day, thousands and thousands and thousands. And what he would do is he would go around the country buying up veterinary clinics, and he would take those veterinary clinics, and he would always see this line item on there, and he's like, man, what's that line item? That costs a lot. He's like, oh, that's a cremation. He's like, I need to be in the cremation business. So the demand is there for that. If you find something where the demand is huge, then all you have to do is produce it, right? But part of that is also from the marketing side. You have to get the word out about your product. You have to make sure that people know that you have a pen with a very unique color ink in it, which I've already planted in your head, right? Demand generation. So how are we going to do demand generation here? Whoa, hold on. I forgot something on there. I gave everybody a card, right? Everybody got a card? Okay, so what I want you to do is I'm going to raffle off a $500 gift card for Best Buy. Okay? So what I need you to do is on my card, I need you to write your name on my card in purple ink. Who wants to buy a pen with purple ink? $499, it's yours. Demand generation. I'm not really raffling off the gift card, but I thought that'd be kind of funny. But creating something where everyone had that moment, they're like, oh, wait, what? That's that moment where you got to be able to deliver that to a customer. That's what delights them when they go, oh my God, that solves, I know exactly what I need in order to solve the problem. You had that feeling for a split second. But like, you didn't know that I was joking. I mean, Moon probably knew I was joking, but you had that, like for a split second, you had that feeling of that's exactly what I need in my life right there. That's what you want your customers to feel, right? And your value proposition should convey that. It's the tool that does the job that you need done when you need it. Some of you were probably willing to pay $499 for a $500 gift card. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like there's a market for everybody that's out there. So don't ever discount your value proposition because it has to be key. Part of that, again, goes into marketing. So that's, I jumped ahead. So what's my product? My product's a pen. Who's the customer? You're the customer. What does it solve? You can enter my fake raffle. And how does it solve it? Because you can fill out your deal. Now, I'm going to jump into marketing. Mo, don't make fun of me because this is your world, not mine. And I stole this from the internet. The 4 P's of marketing. This is the easiest thing that I could find for a marketing mix is product, price, promotion, and place. Your product, what are you selling? We've gone over that, right? Your price. Determining what your price point is key. It's key. When we put our product together, the first thing I looked at is what do you think people will pay for it? Not how much does it cost, not what's my landed cost, how much does it cost to produce and where to put it. It was what do you think people are actually going to pay for this? And the problem that I had with this is I'm friends with a lot of people in this industry. And so I didn't want to gouge them, but I also didn't want to leave money on the table, right? So I had to figure out what is the value of this product? How much time does it save? So I had to take a methodical approach to it to say, okay, what is my time worth? If I'm going to get up on a ladder and I'm going to install this thing and I'm going to run zip ties and I'm going to run the cable and do this, that's worth $60. 2 hours at $30 an hour for someone to do it for you. This saves 2 hours of your life. $60 is a good starting spot. I started at 75. So let's not leave money on the table. Put it out there at 75. Hey, who wants to buy it for 75? No. Too expensive. Who wants to buy it at 50? Everybody. Who wants to buy it at 65? That's what I wanted right there. That's where you want to be. Because you can always go down in price. But you can never go up in price. Which was proven false in the last couple of years because of COVID. You can actually go up in price if you have a good explanation. We ran out of materials. We couldn't get materials, and when they shut the border down, we couldn't get materials. We manufacture in Mexico. So your price, you have to put a lot of thought into your price. Don't just think about what's a good price. You have to test that price out. You have to test market it. Promotion, dude, this is Mo 101 right here. How are you promoting it? I'm on a podcast right now, or I'm on my LinkedIn and my Twitter and all this other stuff, and I've said Wi-Fi stand no short of, 30 times? Everybody knows this product that's listed here, right? Something as simple as this is promotion. Letting people know that your product is available. Letting you know that I have a pen that has purple ink. Very important. Place, your customers need to be able to find it. They need to be able to purchase it. Luckily, we've got the web. You can jump online. Look at this guy. Anybody know what the name of this coffee house is? Yeah, where do you think it is? It's not on 15th and Broadway, that's for sure. Kudos to you. My wife, the name of this product, that's all my wife. What does it do? It's a stand to hold up Wi-Fi. Call it Wi-Fi stand. Genius. I was like, 7th and Park. You can get it at the 7th and Park coffee shop and your bike also. Fantastic. People have to know where to go to get it. WiFiStand.com. I print it on every single one of these has it engraved on there. I was just at the Amazon AWS reInvent conference in Vegas. They had 2,500 of my product deployed at almost every major casino in Vegas. They're a big customer of ours. And every time someone walked by, they saw Wi-Fi stand, Wi-Fi stand, Wi-Fi stand, Wi-Fi stand. It's pretty cool. So understanding, giving people the opportunity to buy your product. It's one thing to know what it is. It's one thing to solve your problem. It's another thing to know exactly where to go to get it. Marketing 101, clear understanding of your target audience. Everyone needs a pen, right? Unique value proposition. We can make it better, quicker, less ugly, right? That's what we're doing. Saltwater, our desalinization, chemicals, all this great stuff. Effective communication channels, making sure people understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, where you're doing it. Well-defined brand identity. I'm not going to hammer that one. A plan for, okay, this is the most important one that's on this slide. Measuring and adjusting the strategy as needed. That right there, if KPIs, right? KPIs. If you're not measuring the performance of what you're doing, why are you doing it? Like if you're not going to look at it and go, here's my benchmark, here's what I'm trying to get to, and then keep up with that and say, oh, this is how I'm achieving that goal. Why are you even playing the game? So make sure that whatever you're doing, put metrics around that to know that this is what your objective is. This is what you're trying to do. Here's the sales number you're trying to hit. Here's the units you're trying to move. Here's the gallons you're trying to desalinate. Whatever it is, make sure there's a metric and you're watching that metric and you go back and you fix it if something's wrong. And if it's working, what do? Nothing. You don't do anything. You leave it alone. You don't fix what's not broken. You can make it better slowly over time, but I had someone that I work with, I mentor a little bit, who's got this product and it's doing fantastic, and he's like, I think I'm gonna fire my marketing guy. I said, why? He goes, well, because sales are doing great. I was like, that's why sales are doing great. He's like, well, there's this other guy who can do better marketing. I go, great. Keep this person and bring this person on board and do A/B comparisons between the two and see if he's better. But don't, heaven forbid, don't stop doing what you're doing. Anyway, these are some lessons I've learned. We've got some, I've had a lot of fun building products and stuff, and it's always fun to talk to you all, so I appreciate your time. Do you have any questions? I don't know if there's questions for any of this. I'm not a genius when it comes to these things. These are just experience. So, what? Who does my social media? Go for it. I'm from McAllen. Yeah, people do not take advantage. Yeah, that has nothing to do with this, I don't think. Well, a little bit. I mean, for local businesses, right? We've got 19 million coffee shops in McAllen. The only thing we have more of is car washes. Jesus, we've got so many car washes in McAllen. I don't even know. It's like someone watched an episode of Breaking Bad and was like, oh, I'm going to build a car wash. And now there's a car wash in every corner. But we have a lot of coffee houses. But we don't have any to do the Mexican mocha. But he doesn't have the taro root mocha that they have in McAllen. That's pretty dope also. When you start to look at the valley as a whole, you realize that there is an insane amount of progress happening everywhere in the Rio Grande Valley. But I've never seen any of you in McAllen except for Mo. I've seen Rick there. That's fair. But you have never seen any of my friends in McAllen down here. And that Friday night mentality that we have in the Rio Grande Valley is so detrimental to everything that we do. When we started our nonprofit, Code RGV, Mo was like one of the only people that go back and forth. And what you can learn from people that are doing things up in McAllen, either STC's got incredible facilities for manufacturing and the stuff that they're doing up there. Down here, you guys, man, what you guys have been doing with all of this stuff. Everyone in McAllen wants to, oh yeah, I'm from the Valley, it's right by SpaceX. That's what everybody says. Oh yeah, we do the space stuff too. We're in McAllen. They're like, yeah, but that's McAllen. Everyone tries to ride on the coattails of Brownsville up there because of what's happening down here in this industry, right? But yet you don't see any of them down here doing anything. If you take what you're trying to do here and you take that up to McAllen, you start to build inroads into some of the facilities and some of the learning and engagement and user groups and meetings and the stuff that we have up there. When the Valley figures out that we're one big happy family between Cameron County and Hidalgo County, it's going to be exceptional. It's going to be exceptional. I don't know if it's going to happen in our lifetime, but it's like, your football team down here, that's the how do you measure the state, right? The football team down here just did some great stuff. No one in McAllen cares. It's not McAllen, Anyway, but I would love to see more of this in Upper Valley. If you guys need an invite, come on over. But I think from a manufacturing perspective, we have a lot of the same resources on both sides of the border, but it's just a matter of networking. So I would love to see you up in McAllen slinging beans. It'd be great. Anyway, questions, answers, bad jokes? Yeah, lots of bad jokes. Go ahead. What's up?
So for your Wi-Fi stand,
Mm-hmm.
what were some of the initial hurdles?
Additional hurdles with Wi-Fi stand. You know, we got it. We got pretty lucky because it's a product where I know a significant amount of people in the industry, and product was the first one. I mean, we tested it and we did a lot of testing to figure out the right size, the right width, the right, you know, every dimension of it. And then getting it built as quickly as we could was probably, manufacturing was probably our hardest. My business partner is the manufacturer, so he makes this in Mexico. But finding the raw materials and getting them in time, cross-border stuff has been really interesting. I would say that in the last 7 years, the biggest thing that has hurt us has been politics, and whether that's related to COVID or not related to COVID, depending on the time, depending on the week. Shutting down the border is bad for business in South Texas, and we had that affect us pretty badly. You know, pay attention to your surroundings. Vote, 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 vote. It's very important that you vote because everything affects everything. So I think our hurdles were more along those lines. Funding was we applied for, we won some grants, which was really cool. So that helped early on. But just I think the biggest thing also was getting the word out, because we saturated the wireless industry pretty well with people in wireless. But that's where that fishbone comes in, right? Your product's gonna be great for the group that you're building it for, but how do you take that to, I don't know, you know, how do you take that to all these different places? And you know, the decomposition stuff also. How do you take that chemical and apply it to all these things that you're not even thinking of? You know, and getting the word out about what you're doing is important, but understanding the markets that you don't even know about yet is the hard part. And that's that borderlines on the diversity conversation, right? I was a product manager at Meta. I'm a product manager at Cisco right now. And one of the things that echoes in my head over and over and over again that I learned at Meta in the DE&I talks that we had, you know, equity and inclusion and all that, it was, if I ask you to build a team, this is like one of my favorite pieces of advice. If I ask you to build a team of people to build the best product possible, whatever product's in your head, I need you to build that product. It's got to be the best one in the entire world. What you're going to do is you're going to call the people that you know that do good at that, right? You're going to go, man, I went to high school with that guy. I went to college with this person. I know this person. Before you know it, you've got your A team. Think about everybody that's in your A team. Everybody. And let's put a number on. Let's say there's 12 people on your A team. The 12 most intelligent people that you know. They all suck. Here's why. Because that's 12 of you sitting at a table. That's the guy that you grew up with. That's the girl that you grew up with. That's the girl that was at university with you. Those are people that have the exact same experiences as you do. Go find the people that you know nothing about, that look nothing like you, that don't speak your language, that grew up on the other side of the world underneath a rock. Go find them. Because if you can design a product that helps all 12 of those completely diverse people, now you've built the greatest product in the world. You don't build the greatest product in the world with everyone who looks, talks, and acts exactly like you do. I'm a middle-aged white guy. How many tables do you think I sit around that are full of middle-aged white guys? It's, you know, and that's the tech industry, right? Luckily, when, you know, I've had exposure at Meta and now at Cisco, where our product teams are from everywhere. I can't, it's such a great feeling, because you go, man, you and I have nothing in common except we work for the same company and we have the same goal. How do I build something that you like? How do I build something that you like? What's your input? Blah, 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 blah. AI. If you don't have enough diversity and equity from people of different cultures and backgrounds in AI, we're all doomed. Anyway, but seriously, one of my favorite things I've ever learned is make sure you surround yourself with people who have the same vision, but who have nothing in common with you. And learn how to make the best product possible doing that. And that's how you change the world. You don't change the world by getting your best friend to help you build a product. You know, anyway. That was a good question. Cool. right? It's insane. Like I mean, I don't know how much time I'm already over, but the lady who runs DE&I for Meta is the one who tells this story, and the story is like mind-blowing. And she says that she worked at God, I'm gonna totally screw it up. She worked at a shampoo company, and she worked at like Dove or a chemical company, Pantene, I think it was Pantene. She worked at this company, and they were trying to figure out why their sales had plateaued. And they're like, man, our sales, and this was like years and years and years ago, the sales had plateaued. And they were trying to understand why. And they said, yeah, we've hit everyone in the market that we can possibly hit. Well, then they were doing this thing where they went around the room, they talked about where they're from and everything else, and where they're from and what they like to do, right? And she was, I think, from Barbados, or I want to say I'm just going to leave it at Barbados. She's from Barbados, right? And they're like, oh, you must love to swim. And she says, no, I hate to swim. She's a black lady, right? And she goes, I hate to swim. And they're like, why? And dude, the most racist crap came out of people's mouth. They're like, oh, because your bones are less, they weigh different than other people, and because black people can't swim. And she's like, what? No, dude. Your hair! That's why, dude! She's like, you guys are all idiots. It's my hair. She goes, when I was a kid, I would go run out and go swim, and dude, my mom would beat my ass because I would come home. How long does it take? Dude, just to get all that crap, because it strips all of the natural oils and stuff out of your hair, right? And she's like, and so she's saying this to me. She goes, you guys want to attack a market? You want to see your market grow? Quit building shampoo for white people hair. Build it for islanders. Build it for people who have different. And they're like, oh yeah, your hair is different, dude. Their market rate through the roof. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, they start including all these essential oils and all these other things that work with your hair. And she's like, I'm not a genius. You guys are just idiots, It's like, but dude, and see, I mean, like, I couldn't have planted that better. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't know that. How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that if your hair is a different style, that's going to take you 3 hours to brush your hair out after you go swimming? None of us know that. None of us know that. You know that. That's why you put people who aren't from where you're from, who don't look like you, who don't have your background and your culture sitting at the table with you. That's how you build a better product. Anyway, spoken like a product manager. And my camera died. Yeah, go ahead. I could talk for days, y'all. You don't even know.
So you're a serial entrepreneur.
Serial entrepreneur. I did want to make a food truck called Serialously. Yeah, man. Like ice cold, like all the different types of milk. Anyway, sorry. Serial entrepreneur. That was the joke. It's good. Serialously.
So, but you also work for Cisco.
I work for. Okay, hold on.
You work for Meta.